And up next, we have Morgan Hansen. Morgan is the Senior Manager at Data Science for TrueCar. Morgan, welcome to the program.
Hi, Rich.
You have the distinction of being our last guest and the very last one right before Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's what I heard.
You are the mini at the trophy stage.
Well, I hope I close this well. So
Fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit about what TrueCar does and what your role is in the company?
Yeah, so TrueCar is a car buying service that allows you to see what other people in your area have paid for the car that you want, and then you will get a guaranteed price from the dealer to take with you to really reduce any haggling and make it an easy experience for you to purchase a car.
That sounds fantastic. So how do you get that data? How do you know how much everybody paid for a car in your area?
We have a lot of different data sources. We aggregate a lot of things, and we really just try to model out what is happening in your area, what is the distribution of cars, and then we present that to you on a histogram to show you, this is an unusually low price. This is a great price for the car. Go ahead, go in and get that. You're ready to go.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And so it says you can make also some predictions about where prices are going. You do something like trending, like this car might be, $500 cheaper in 2 months, or...
Yeah, we do a lot of that. It's not necessarily part of the product, but as a data company in the automotive space and as a data scientist myself, we definitely look at that data quite a bit and want to understand where the trends are going and try to provide insight for that. So we will look at prices. One of the main ways we like to examine things is to understand how much discounting is going on. Incentives is a big deal in the automotive industry. So watching those trends and seeing where things are moving is definitely something we work with quite a bit.
Cool. Yeah. And data scientist, I think, is probably one of the most misunderstood job titles today. What exactly does a data scientist do, and how is that different than a data analyst and other folks?
Well, it's funny. I presented today and put it in my notes that 3 years ago I was a statistician, and now I'm a data scientist, and I'm doing pretty much the same job. So I think one of the distinctions from a data analyst is a data scientist is going to really go in and analyze data at a very deep level, but we might also have to understand how data flows through the full data ecosystem, so including the databases, learning new technologies like Hadoop or some Spark technology, which is a great way of combining your databases with prediction analytics. So to me, a lot of times, I know there's a great joke going around for a while that a data scientist is just a statistician that lives in San Francisco. Sometimes I feel that way, but I think it's just a little bit more involved. Sometimes I think that a data scientist or a statistician might make some new data compared to just looking at data, which, I don't know, it might be a small distinction, but Tableau can help you on both sides, and that's why we're here as TrueCar, because we use it on both ends of the spectrum.
Cool. Can you fill us in a little bit on how you guys use it throughout the company? Where did it start, by the way? Where did Tableau start in your organization?
For us, it started with BI, our BI team, and we had a few people that were heavy adopters, used it for some general reporting, and then I happened to just find it on my own. I didn't even know we had it at the time, and a couple other guys found it. It was a few years ago as Tableau's picked up steam. And we started using it, downloaded the free option, thought, oh, bummer, my free time's up, and then was talking the next day and found out we have a license.
Cool.
So we started using it. So we use it in BI, we use it in a lot of regular reporting. And then from the data analytics side, I'm on the analytics, I'm a data scientist, I've started using it to understand the data health that's influencing our models. So how is that data moving? And that might be a different use case from BI. I need to know some different things because I'll understand how is that going to affect our price predictions.
Right.
And we also started using it on the analytics team just to help us create better algorithms. So by using Tableau to find out where are we predicting well, where are we not predicting well, as I'm building a better model or our machine learning algorithms are growing, how much is it improving? Where is it improving? Are we doing better on a certain make or with a certain demographic? Things like that. So we've definitely used it in traditional senses and then kind of used its power to add some extra usability for us.
Cool. And you guys have been Tableau users for how many years now?
Well, we've had the license for, I think, 6 years.
Wow.
And then really in the last 3 years, just like everybody else, it's becoming more and more prevalent with us. And we've probably gone from the BI team and a few kind of small users in analytics to now, we have multiple teams that are all using it and now even starting to publish and create their own. So we don't just have end users that are seeing a report. we have 8, 9, 10 departments that are creating reports with Tableau and really looking to use it to help push their own analytics. So we have people doing self-service through the enterprise server.
Cool.
We definitely utilize that to help, especially our executives or maybe people that aren't necessarily data analysts or data scientists, empower them with the data they want, cut me out as the middleman. They don't have to wait for me to get back to an email.
Yep.
And then we have a lot of people that are even just using it to create their own visuals and do their own data analysis from scratch. So it's definitely fun to see that tool move out, since I'm such a big fan of it and like it so much. I love being able to go to other teams and say, oh, just do this in Tableau, and they can say yes, and we can communicate. So it's made it a lot easier to work with other teams.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And you guys obviously have a website. You have a mobile app, I'm sure, as well, or?
Yeah, we definitely have the website, the desktop offering, and then we definitely are mobile heavy, mobile everywhere. So if you're going to a dealership lot, you're not going to lose any of the functionality of TrueCar. You're still going to have the same great experience. You're still going to have access to all the data that makes TrueCar special in terms of understanding what people have paid for vehicles in your area.
Very, very
and
cool.
it's still having all that knowledge. And we're only expanding in that direction and only looking to get better.
That is awesome.
So yeah, definitely mobile heavy.
So if I were to install the app and I'm looking through the app, can you highlight some of the features, how that data was influenced by Tableau? Maybe it was a question you didn't even know you needed to ask, and boom, you found something extraordinary, or some data that you pulled from Tableau that you decided to make available to your users?
I think Tableau's still on the back end for us.
Okay.
If anything, I would think that we're about providing confidence in the product and letting people know exactly where they stand and giving them price confidence when they go into a dealership. So the more times that maybe we're a little off, that's bad. That's going to reduce our general confidence in the market from our consumers. So, and including our dealer base, because they work with us a lot too. And it's a partnership for us to help them provide the price, and the customer comes in. We're working with both sides. So what I would say Tableau has influenced that is, from the analytics team, we've just gotten a lot better at the data we're providing is correct. We can see that beforehand. Any algorithm that we're using to help provide pricing confidence is going to be improved on our end using Tableau, because we now are more confident in it. We know more about it. We can find any outliers in the data quicker. We can find bugs. So Tableau really enables us to act faster when we see something that's off, or identify it before it ever makes it outside of our data ecosystem to the customers.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And as I think you are literally, out of everybody interviewed, the company who's been using it the longest, aside from the Tableau folks.
Well, it's funny. I mean, we've had a lot of the Tableau folks. I've been here 1-2 years, and someone said, Tableau years should be like dog years. So I mean, with the rate they're growing, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But I think the first version we had was either 3.1 or 4.1 that I know of. So it's been there, and
cool.
It's just taken a while to get a lot of adoption, but we're there.
Could you give us a little history lesson of some of the major innovations they've had, or new product things that really open things up for you guys?
For Tableau?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that as server has gotten more rich, that's been a big deal for us to share that data, because I don't know exactly some of the launches that they've had, but the more that server has enabled more people to get there, it's easier, even with the latest updates where they've kind of revamped the skin, the presentation.
Okay.
It helps someone on my team they're not a Tableau user. That's just their data. That's where they need to go. And if they can search and improve how quickly they find what they want, that's going to make for a better experience. In terms of the desktop, from an analytical standpoint, I know that the level of detail, which is big with the 9.0 release, has been a lot of help for us. We've had some hacks, or doing that on the pre-side, doing that in the data that we're loading anyway first. And so when we put that in, I can just program that in. I can make adjustments on the fly. That definitely reduces the amount of time that we need to do the analysis, and has really helped us push forward. I think we're also pretty excited about Visible, which obviously we haven't had a time to get into, but on the mobile side, we definitely are excited about mobile, and I know that having things that scale and are built for mobile, I'm excited to see where we go with that.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I also understand you guys do a bit of algorithm improvement, machine learning, and so forth, and Tableau has assisted a little bit with that?
Yeah, we do a lot of machine learning. We're definitely on the cutting edge on that side.
Cool.
We have a really robust data pipeline that we can now have machine learning algorithms that sit on top of it and reduce the spec time to put in a new algorithm. We can just add a variable or tweak something and learn more from our data. So the way Tableau is helping us do that is when we put something new in, we can use Tableau to look at the change. How much did it change my accuracy? How much are my prices shifting? And we can quickly understand those changes, so we don't have to send it through a development stage or 3 months.
Right.
We can change it in development, take a couple days to make sure that's what we want to push if we're making a big change, if it's small or even shorter, and just really quickly understand what the differences are. With that Tableau, that can be hard kind of building some reports, but with something like Tableau that can sit right on top of that live data, I can build a filter, or I can just structure my data in a way that I can compare, model 2.6 to model 2.7 very, very quickly and live. And then I can monitor that moving forward to ensure that, I can have a historical snapshot of how we used to do.
Yep.
And then I can track that against 2.7 in Tableau. It's very easy, and it really makes my life easy as the person that ultimately is responsible for those algorithms in many cases. So be able to track that and understand it and get ahead of any issues that may pop up, because there are going to be issues. That's just the way everything works, and the more data you have, it's complex. So let's make sure we're ahead of it. Let's make sure we understand it, and we can make some quick decisions on how to fix it.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And again, if this question is off limits, just tell me. We can move on to the next one. In your entire data stack, can you, any information that's public, like what does it look like? It sounds like you guys are getting a lot of data from different sources, and then the visualization piece on top of it. And how does Tableau, like on a scale of 1 to 10, is Tableau, one of your medium performers or awesome performers? Or
I can't really go into how we get our data or anything like that. That's definitely something that.
But I was talking like other technologies, like maybe Vertica or something like that.
Okay,
It's public info.
Tableau, we use a lot of different softwares. We're always looking for the best thing, whatever's going to help us and whatever's new. We've gone to a full Hadoop infrastructure lately, which is really pretty cutting edge for us. But having a tool like Tableau that quickly integrates with it, as long as I've been using Tableau, that hasn't been an issue. Totally. It's really cool. I am not personally a great Hadoop programmer, but when I can use Tableau and I know that tool, it makes it easy. So Tableau definitely has its uses in terms of enterprise, with our data pipeline and things. There are going to be other tools that have really good diagnostics to understand how the data is flowing. When you're combining that data, how is it working? And in terms of the reports that those come out, if that's for the dev community and that's what they like, that's great.
Yep.
But where Tableau has really enriched things for us is when you're not, knees deep in data, and I need a report, and also, I need it to look pretty. Depends on how high up the ladder it's going.
Right.
Tableau is really great out of the box to help make sure that any visual that I provide internally for a report is going to be visually stimulating, which is something I take a lot of pride in. It cuts down the amount of time that I have to take to make something that I am excited to present. And then also externally, it's really changed the way that we can share our data with our clients.
Right.
Especially, we have a subsidiary at TrueCar, ALG, that works with a lot of OEMs in charge of forecasting used car values. So forecasting how much a car is going to be essentially when it comes off lease. And just being able to empower our people to have the data they need when they're going to go talk to a client, self-serve, and it's in an actionable form. Right now we're copying and pasting into a presentation. They can take what they need, leave the rest, filter down. That's really where it's empowered a lot of our people and helped us move forward. So in the world of when we need to visualize data and I need it to look good and I need it to look good fast, Tableau is the tops for us. Yeah, it's the go-to, and I'll definitely push that on my end for all the visuals we're making.
Cool.
Yeah.
And being someone, waist deep in machine learning and so forth, what are some of the cutting edge tools? I know there's Mahout on Hadoop. There's 4 or 5 other open source projects and closed source projects.
There's a lot of really cool stuff out there.
What ones excite you?
Well, we are currently using a lot of Python.
Okay.
So there's a lot of really great open source technologies, a lot of good machine learning, and Python plays well with Hadoop pretty good. So there's a lot of really cool machine learning kind of, maybe there's not a new algorithm,
Okay.
but it's something, the technology mix is really good for us to use.
Right.
So right now we're using a technology called Spark to help us, which is really good at processing big data fast, and you can run machine learning algorithms on it. And as I mentioned a little bit early, it's really easy to add a new variable, change your algorithm, add something new, kind of on the fly, because those machine learning algorithms are in the product. You don't have to hard code anything. You're not recreating a regression calculation in Java or something.
Right.
So that has allowed us to be more agile, and we're just launching a lot of those products, and I'm very excited about the prospect of being able to come up with some new insights, whether it's internally we've come across them, mining in Hadoop or something, or it's a conversation I've had with a client or a partner, and they've had some insight that we haven't found yet, and we have good relationships, we're sharing, and then suddenly I come back and say, oh, I need to add this to our algorithm, let's see how it performs.
Right.
And I can do that on the fly. A lot of people on our analytics team are just fantastic at it, wildly talented, always on the cutting edge. And we can come back and say, hey, let's add this algorithm. They put it in, and we're done. And we're testing it, and we're using Tableau, and we're rolling through, and we're ready to roll. Whereas at least even 3-4 years ago, that's a 4-month dev cycle, it seems like.
Absolutely.
And you want to add something new, and you got to put in tickets, and it's been really exciting. So Spark and Firework are some that I know that our team is using, and I'm not necessarily programming in it at all at this point, but I'm working with our dev teams to make sure that this is how we're going to integrate, and just understanding the headaches that are going to be relieved by that is really cool. And so with all the machine learning libraries that are included in those, it's a lot of flexibility around what type of prediction you need to make, how you're going to make it, and just empowers you to be able to make the prediction you need and not be restricted. So that's been really exciting for us. Yeah.
And that was, a lot of Spark is still not, it's the adoption curve. I think it's, if you look on Indeed.com and you punch in different technologies, Spark is just on this complete elbow curve right now.
Yeah.
And just going crazy, but still the amount of folks that can adopt it, you definitely seems to be an earlier adopter. But that's obviously led to some big business advantages as well. When did you guys make the decision that Spark was?
Well, we're up for anything. Spark isn't our end solution by any means, but we moved to Hadoop a couple years ago to try to get on a very flexible and scalable data platform.
Yep.
And our tech leadership, our analytics leadership, they are just, we're going to get out of the way. You guys finding a new tool, you guys are on the cutting edge. Let's use it. Let's make sure it works, and we'll integrate it into our world. So that's one of the best parts about working at TrueCar, is that we are going to be the industry leaders in that regard. We are going to be grabbing the new technology and using it and trying to push that forward and improve our processes. So it's been really fun. In the last 3 years, we've definitely taken a lot of steps forward in that regard. And our tech leadership is very supportive of that, and actually even pushy. That's what we have to do. You're not going to survive in this ecosystem if you're not willing to move forward. So we use everything. We still use SQL. It's a great tool. You're not going to throw away things just because they're not the newest and best.
Yeah.
But when a new technology does come around like Spark, it's really exciting.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
And so what other conferences and what other, especially in the machine learning and Hadoop spaces, what other things can you recommend to our viewers that would be a good idea to attend or to check out?
Any of the open source can always be fun. I have attended Python in the past. I've gone to some R meetups. They're fun communities because everybody's building it themselves.
Yep.
They can be very exciting. I know IBM is here next week. That could be fun. But any of these analytics, if you're a data geek, you're going to have some interesting things to talk about and learn at any of these conferences.
Very cool.
But Tableau is definitely one of my favorites. I love it every year. I look forward to it.
Sweet. And did I hear you say, did you have a session earlier today or yesterday? Or?
I did. I spoke a couple sessions ago. Yeah,
cool.
Today.
And what was that, if folks want to check it out? It's done, but
it's
it'll be on
done,
video.
But I titled it Millions of Predictions, How TrueCar is Finding the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And it was essentially about using Tableau to mine how well your algorithm's working.
Cool.
That was something that I've been here the last couple years and hadn't really seen a lot of applications of Tableau to kind of understand your models better. And so we started doing it. I worked with the Tableau team, and they thought it was a good idea. So it was fun, and I hope that I left a couple people with some ideas that hopefully they can take back and see if they can apply it. And it was fun. It was definitely fun to make, and I mean, we're using it, so it wasn't that hard to do because everything was already ready to go.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a big part of the Tableau community is sharing stuff. So
I love it. It's why it's one of my favorite parts.
cool. Awesome. Morgan Hansen, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thanks.
And being here. Are you going to go to the Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Oh, of course. As soon as we're
I'll
done,
race you
I am
over there. I
running
think
out of
that's
there.
where these people are headed. So
Yep.
we're going to cut out. Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks a bunch.
All right.